Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warships Blitz with Terry. Today, for a change, we're back on my personal account, and we're back at Tech Tree Ships, and this is the Tier 7 Italian cruiser, the Zara. Now, I've unlocked this ship, and I was immediately happy about that. Just let me start with that. The actual Zara was a bit of an unlucky ship, let me put it this way. She was constructed right after the Trentos, when the Italians had built the Trentos with relatively thin armor and then built her for speed, and then sort of figured, maybe we need to put a bit more armor on these things. So the requirement for the Zara was to have, well, better armor plating. Unfortunately, they were building somewhat within the treaty restrictions, so they couldn't really exceed the 10,000 tons all that much, although they did not quite meet their target. But they did end up managing to squeeze 150mm belt plating onto these things, which made them some of the best armored heavy cruisers of their time. In comparison, that's what the Tier 6 British battle cruiser, the Repulse, actually started out with, and so that was pretty decent, and so they were relatively well protected after the somewhat squishier Zaras and squishier Trentos, and obviously battling the British in the Mediterranean for dominance and for supplying their respective forces both in Malta and in North Africa, which the British obviously tried to prevent one from the other, and so did the Italians. Now the British did have a couple of advantages towards the later stages of this battle, and one of them was that the British actually had cracked the Italian naval code. So the British knew that the Italians were setting out with a rather large force centered around the Vittorio Veneto, the Tier 8 battleship, and they did have Zara and her sister ships, as well as Trento, and with another cruiser group out in order to intercept British convoys. Now, the Italians didn't know that the British knew that, and the Italians also didn't know that the British had HMS Formidable sitting around in the Mediterranean, plus 3 Queen Elizabeth class battleships, including the Warspite. So when the Italians were spotted around, I think it's called Cape Matapan, I might have mispronounced that, I'm sorry if I did. They didn't think too much about it, but then they came under air attack. Vittorio Veneto was actually hit, and by aerial drop torpedoes. So when the second wave came in later, they were trying to protect her, and one of Zara's sister ships, I think it's Pola, actually was pretty much stationary at the time, defending Vittorio Veneto, and got hit pretty badly by airdrop torpedoes. So after that engagement, the Italians were, well, sending Zara back to help out with that, and that's when the second problem really hit, because it was night and the Italians didn't fight at night. The British, however, had HMS Orion around, which was a Leander class light cruiser but had a radar equipped. So the British could see the Italians, whereas the Italians could not see the British. And that allowed the British to get 3 Queen Elizabeth class battleships into 3.5 kilometer range of these heavy cruisers. Well, and that ended as without much surprise. They didn't even get to fire their guns. They were just torn to shreds by the 3 British battleships. So that was the end. The rather unfortunate end of the Zara, and obviously 150mm belt plating or not, if something like the Warspite fires at you from 3 kilometer range with 380mm cannons, it does not matter. All it probably does is ensure that her armor piercing shells are arming. Right, anyway, the Zara. So how does she compare to the Trento? Well, let's compare the two, which makes a lot of sense. We're Tier 7 now, heavy cruiser territory, and we are getting the precise aim. the Italians did have a bit of problems with dispersion, which wasn't down to their skill or anything, but mostly down to manufacturing issues and the way they had designed their guns. But we do get the precise aim, which is nice. And other than that, we get more hit points and we get a bit more armor plating, as you can tell from the damage reduction getting a little better. She does lose a little bit of maneuverability towards the Trento, but it's very, very similar. She does mostly lose a bit of speed, which makes sense given that she was carrying more plating around. The guns reload faster, which is great, and have a longer range, which is great. Other than that, they're pretty much similar. So it's a slightly newer variety, but you still get the 8 guns on target. And as is common with these ships, you don't get the HE shells, you get the SAP shells. Now the 203mm semi-armor piercing, I find, is probably something I stick with 90% of the time. It's very rare that I switch over to the armor piercing because the SAP is doing a great amount of damage, and the penetration, if you know where to aim, is often good enough. And at long ranges, plunging fire against battleships also works pretty well. She does get the exact same torpedoes that you get on the Trento. And these are fun torpedoes. And she does get a marginally better AA, but other than that, it's pretty much the same. And the concealment's actually worse. So does this look like a worse Trento to you? No, it isn't. Once again, this comes down to the Italian cruisers being actually really, really good and fun to play. Now, how have I set this ship up? I have pretty much the same equipment that I was using in German heavy cruisers. So I've got the main battery mod 2, because the turrets seem to be sturdy enough. And I've got a double steering here. Now this is controversial. A lot of people will probably prefer the propulsion mod. But I like playing these ships from range most of the time. And because the torpedoes have the range, the guns have the range. And if I am forced into a dogfight with a destroyer, then I'd rather have the double steering most of the time than being able to start and stop a little bit earlier. By the way, if you were wondering about the somewhat strange, well, it's not strange. I find it actually, I think it's rather pretty, but the somewhat raised forecastle here on this ship. That's because this line here. Let me zoom that in a little bit. That line here in front of the main turret, that's a catapult. So unlike many other cruiser designs which had their catapult somewhere in the center, she had the catapult on forward deck and could launch an airplane from there. Just one of those things. The one thing that the Italian heavy cruisers have in common with each other so far is the absolutely dreadful turret traverse. So I am using the advanced turret for an elite bonus for better traverse speed. It's still not good enough. You could also very well use the main battery mod 1 and probably be as satisfied with your main turrets. You can, if you're so inclined, get yourself a historical camo, which gives you main battery firing range, torpedo traverse speed, and surface detection. All good things, very, very good things, especially for her playstyle. But as usual, we'll be playing with the Seaborne Assault camo here. We still have to look at the commander, and I am actually still playing with Luigi Sansonetti, who's just been coming across from the Trento, so he's not even fully upgraded yet, which means I don't get the better artillery maintenance, and especially I don't get the Sixth Sense just now. And the Sixth Sense is one of the most powerful skills that these legendary captains sometimes have, especially in something that you don't want to get shot at, although it's not quite as bad as in the Trento because she is a bit better armored. And but yeah, so I don't even have the skills quite yet up because I could spend the free XP to just do it, but it just comes by itself. I'm saving up my free XP for legendary modules at some point if I need it. But yeah, I know it's accumulating anyway. Right, I think that's all that we needed to say about the ship. It's a very pretty ship, isn't it? Honestly, like if I look at this, it looks pretty nice. It's a beautiful ship. Anyway, enough waffling. Let's get into some games. Now, I might sound like I'm a bit too hyped about these ships. And I completely understand if some of you don't like them. But I love cruisers in general. So this is always exciting. And these ships are better than I thought they were going to be honest. Anyway, we are top tier. We're up against Colorado, Nagato, Atlanta, Mayhem, Jervis, and Sims. And we're playing Golden Channel Center Control. Well, you already know what's happening. Anyway, against destroyers, the semi-armor piercing, if you've never seen it happening, is absolutely murderous, because the semi-armor piercing has a lower penetration than the armor piercing, so it's not going to over-penetrate as easily, even at close ranges. And destroyers don't have much in terms of armor plating, so the semi-armor piercing with its increased shell damage is absolutely murderous. I mean, she can do over 6,000 points of damage in a single salvo against the destroyer, which means she can probably two-shot destroyers if she gets lucky. Plus, this thing is now more precise at range as well. Anyway, we are going to follow that Akatsuki there and get ourselves into a position which is right inside the capture circle, but without... I mean, there's only 2 battleships out there, so it's not that bad. But we still don't want to give any broadsides, and we just want to be useful for our team and help with cap control. Because our battleships probably doing other stuff, they generally tend to. Anyway, what we got spotted so far? Okay, there's the... up there, there are all the destroyers. So let's open up the Sims with the forward guns, and this is probably about as far as we want to go. Not because I'm too concerned about battleships at this stage, but because of all the torpedo soup that's going to come my way. Because, as is customary, yeah, there they come. There comes the whole torpedo soup. So I will just dunk my torpedoes in the general direction. I think the friendly Sims just caught them, which is a bit unfortunate. But I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, he got most of them. But that's okay. Okay, that's a... is that a bot? What is that? Is that a bot New Orleans? Yeah, it's a bot New Orleans. But yeah, we do need to get that thing away because it is dangerous for our destroyers. So we'll just do away with it. The other obvious thing that I forgot to mention, because like if you're not aware of it in the Italian cruisers, is the fuel smoke. So you can use that to cover your turns, which is generally quite helpful. Okay, we've got Sims and we've got the smoking up Jervis over there. And there's an Atlanta, which is once again somewhat of a problem for our destroyers. So the Aka is already evacuating there. I am going to drop some torpedoes, but I don't think they will hit the Atlanta, but maybe the Colorado. And then get some shots into the Atlanta and see if we can do something about that thing. But more destroyers, enemy coming up. The enemy team is reasonably playing well. I mean, most of them are sitting inside the capture circle, whereas my battleships are all bimbling about them somewhere on the outside. Yeah, we did get one torpedo hit onto the Colorado, so that's nice that the Colorado is playing like that. No one's targeting me, even though I don't have the skill yet, so I can't quite see it. But we are poking out from the side here, and it doesn't. Oh, yeah, there are more torpedoes. These are Atlanta torps, I think. I'm not going to be able to dodge those. So I'm going to be taking 1 or 2 of those. 2 by the looks of it. So, and the Colorado has seen me as well, so it's time to bugger off behind my little island there. And yeah, we're just sinking some more torpedoes into the Colorado. But the Atlanta has now vacated the capture circle. And there's a nice smoke screen. There's a Nagato over there, not to be underestimated, but I'm not sure what he's shooting at. I think they have gotten distracted by the fact that they're holding the capture circle. So now it's time to do something about that, because we are 200 points behind. But there's a Sims, and he's on reasonably low hit points. And I'm in that convenient smoke screen still here. I'm gonna have to dodge some Sims torps. But might be taking one on the nose there. But I'd rather get that Sims killed. And yeah, that's a dead Sims. You do not sit broadside on to an Italian cruiser at that range. And there's the Jervis, and there's the Atlanta still. I can't see the Atlanta right now. He's behind an island, and I've got the Jervis right in front of me. So let's chase the Jervis off, and just be mindful of his torpedoes. And yeah, he is smoking up after being shot at, because that hurts very much. Nagato is on low hit points, no torpedoes coming. Maybe he's out of torps. But now we do have the smoke screen, and it's 4-3 for some reason. The enemy team has, well, I don't know. Try to win harder or something? I don't even know what happened, but they only have the Jervis and 1 more destroyer, and that battleship was on low hit points, so we are still over 100 points behind, but we've still got 2 minutes 30 to go in this match, and we are now holding the cup. So Sims is coming with me, which is nice, and I haven't even had to use my fuel smokes yet. So we're just gonna go and see if we can find ourselves something to kill, and just make sure that these guys stay out. Okay, there's the Jervis. Jervis is more dangerous. He might have torps away. Maybe, let's see, but we'll get shots out. Yeah, there come the Jervis torps. Oh, Sims, I am so sorry. There's nothing I can do about this. You're gonna take one torp there. But there was very little I could do to break there. Now, obviously, the Nagato has my broadside, so this is when you use the fuel smoke. And Nagato is on low hit points. There comes the other set. Was that the other Jervis set, or was that the other destroyer? Could have been the other destroyer. Nagato is sailing out of torp range, so he's never going to run into my torps. Might as well not bother. But I'll send them this way anyway, in case one of the destroyers runs into them by accident. Oh yeah, there's the Jervis back again. Not sure if he's reloaded his torpedoes, but he now has to dodge mine, which were blind fired, and he has. But unfortunately that means that he's now in gun range, and he's actually giving chase, which is very brave of him. Donk some more torpedoes in his general direction. He is once again smoking up. He might be stopping. Yeah, I don't think he realizes he has a fuel smoke either. So while I am giving once again too much skirt to the Nagato, it is a... Oh no, he went out that way actually. So yep, there comes the Nagato, but it is a relatively sturdy cruiser. So unless they get some lucky hits in, not sure if there are any more torpedoes in the water. Just sitting here and braking in case they come, but I do need to do something about that Nagato at some point. Anyway, I think at this point, yeah, we're 30 points ahead, and we've got a little bit of time. So once again, the smoke up just to throw off the Nagato's aim here, and see if we can get the Nagato killed, because the destroyers are... There's one destroyer which is going after one of our battleships, so this could go either way still if we lose the battleship. But I don't know what the Jervis is, and unless somebody spots her, the Nagato is the bigger risk for me now, so I am healing up just so they don't get a lucky shot in. But even if they did, we're now 70 points ahead, and I think the Nagato is dead at this point. Yep, there she goes. And there's the Jervis, and it looks like the other destroyer has not managed to sink that battleship of ours over there. So all in all, it was a bit tight towards the end, but I think the kill on the Nagato there has sealed that deal. Yeah, you do have to compensate for your team at times, but you see, this is why you're in a cruiser. So Italian cruiser, even if it doesn't have high explosive, against battleships can be reasonably dangerous, just from the sheer damage that you can do with the semi-armor piercing, and it is perfectly capable of penetrating enemy bow sections on battleships or stern sections. So that's definitely something you can do. So let's do that again. And this time we're bottom tier, up against Hiryu, Shapayev, Wichita, Takao, Z39 and Sims. And we're playing Epicenter. What could possibly go wrong? You already know what's gonna happen. But yeah, like I said, in a cruiser, the one thing that I like about playing cruisers is that it allows you to compensate for things that your team's doing. And the Italian cruisers are good for that, because they're excellent at dealing with destroyers, and they have enough utility against battleships with the long range torpedoes. And the high speed and the fuel smoke, that they are really fun class of ships to play, I find. Especially, once again, if you have a captain like Luigi Zanzonetti. But I don't even have... Satan, be gone. What do you mean it cannot be done? Of course it can be done. Don't worry, I'm here. Don't worry, Satan, I'm here. I'll deal with things. Yeah, what did I say? Yes. Forgot. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, Epicenter. We are going to give some AA cover, even though the AA is not the greatest on this thing. But the Aki has a pretty reasonable AA. And the Jervis I can't remember. Never played that thing. But yeah, the carrier looks like he's coming my way. So what we'll do is, if he's dropping me, yes, he's dropping me. Which, honestly, I prefer. We're going to use a fuel smoke. And I am going to Damacon that single fire, because otherwise I'll be spotted. I'm going to use the fuel smoke to throw off his dive bombers, his torpedo bombers. Can I lob this? No, I can't. And yeah, the torpedo bombers have, I don't know what they've dropped, but it hasn't gone anywhere near me because he couldn't see where I was. So that was a safe thing to do. And then we start shooting at the enemy destroyers. And we can do that from a reasonably long range, but the dispersion says no at this point, even with the precise aiming active. There's a Wichita over there. The enemy team's holding the center cap, but that Z39 is buggering off. So we'll see where we can. Where we can head next. Okay, Wichita is shooting at me. And at that range, the semi-armor piercing is starting to feel a bit weak against some of the better armored cruisers. But I'm still keep it loading because, well, once again, I'm up against destroyers here. And the Wichita doesn't have the Alpha Strike to kill me on the side, and I have the better armor, so this is okay. You can risk this. You take a little bit of damage, but that's okay. What is coming that way? We do have to move out from here. The enemy team's holding all three, and there's a bot Nagato. Okay, so battleship. Obviously, you don't want to broadside, but you can sink the semi-armor piercing into the bow section, which generally works pretty well. Or if you find yourself in a brawl with a battleship, I generally prefer to be a little bit further away. You can also load the armor piercing, but as you can see, SAP into the bow section is bringing the hurt. So I'm just going to try to get away from the bot, such that one of my destroyers can deal with it. And I want to get shots out at these guys in the center cup, because we are still only holding the outer ring. Okay, so can somebody please kill that Nagato? It's just a bot, right? Or just be closer. Yeah, thank you. One of the destroyers has opened up on him. I think it's the Aki. So that the Aki can kill that thing. And I want to do something about these two destroyers there inside the capture circle. Now that, at that range, should be better. And no, it wasn't. I think he turned in the last second. He is running away from torpedoes, so he's not going to maneuver too much, hopefully. And yeah, that's more like it. That's sort of what you can expect when you give broadside to an Italian cruiser and a destroyer. But we're still only holding the outer ring, and the enemy team is ahead. It looks like the bots at both. Oh, someone's killed the enemy carrier. I'm not sure how that happened, but the enemy carrier is dead. Okay. Hello, Mr. Zims. Are you sure you want to do this? Have I introduced you to my friends? A, B, X, and Y turret. And I've got torpedoes as well. Anyway, Sims smokes up, and he's not shooting his gun, so I don't know where he is. So I'm just going to shoot at the Takao instead. Which means there is going to be torpedo soup in the water, both from the Sims and the Takao. And the Sims has decided to give chase, which is an interesting approach, given that there's a Wichita right here. Wichita, there's a... okay. Never mind, the Wichita hasn't realized that the Sims exists. And yeah, there comes the Takao torpedo soup, so I'm going to have to dodge that. So bow in that way, and I think the Sims has just donked in the Wichita in the side. Hasn't been enough to sink him, but the Sims is now dead because I can, I know how minimaps work. But the Wichita is probably going to die to Takao fire now, and we are still almost 100 points behind, even though we are 2 kills ahead now. So let's see if we can do something about that. Obviously there is a full health Shapayev and a Takao left. So Shapi first, maybe. Yeah, there comes more Takao Torp soup. Let's see if we can dodge that. We must slow down, turn in, get that passing by in front of us. And then we'll do something about the Shapi, while all the meanwhile capturing the center capture area. Takao is sailing away. Is he giving me... oh, okay, he's showing me broadside again. Nice, so I can keep shooting at Takao. Takao is on lower health, but the Shapayev is going to kill the friendly... was it the Wichita, I think? I just want to do some damage to that Takao. Okay, there's Takao turns away. That means he's got torpedoes away again. But we are now holding we are now holding all the capture circles, and the enemy team only has 666 points. That's 1 torpedo in the nose. I think I can survive that. But the Takao is outside, and I am going to fuel smoke in reverse here, just to get the Shapayev distracted a little bit. Okay, double fire. That's a Damakon. I am out of heals, but this should be okay. I don't have torpedoes ready, but I don't think I need them, because the Shapayev is a light cruiser. And at this range, I can switch over to the armor piercing at some point, if I feel like at this range. If I can get citadels, but I'm switching the armor piercing. It hasn't been necessary. I think the Shapayev is dead. There's very little he can do about this. Yeah, he's run into an island, and he's now very dead. So now we can... oh, and that brings us ahead on points, 45 seconds before the end of the battle. And the carrier is in the cup as well. Good carrier. Alright, I really don't know what happened to the enemy carrier, but now we're shooting at the Takao, just making sure that we're not running into any of his torpedo soup, because this thing's got more torpedoes than a Shimakaze. This is a very, very annoying cruiser, if played correctly, but it's not very good in brawls, so And he's been running into friendly torpedoes as well. 16 seconds. Yeah, I am keeping my distance here and once again slowing down in case there are taco torps in the water, but I think it wasn't necessary. And because the other cruiser hasn't been helping them to maintain the cup, but is kind of chasing around the outside of the map. And has killed the Edinburgh. Okay, nicely done. We still managed to win this. But yeah. Don't be fooled by the long-range setup that it seems to be. This ship with the correct modules is perfectly capable of playing mid-range, and given how dangerous she is against destroyers, that is not a bad option actually to take. So yeah, and yeah, we had maybe an AFK Jervis on our side. No, he's got team score. He just didn't do any damage. So it's a great ship. It's great fun. I wouldn't have thought it from the sheer statistics, but this is a very good tier 7 heavy cruiser, and great fun ship. And I'm looking forward to playing the rest of the line. I have already reviewed the Venezia, and I will probably go all the way up and get that ship as well. Especially that I've got Sansonetti on there, and I am very curious to see how his improved SAP penetration is going to make a difference in higher tiers. But anyway, that's it for me today. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.